see a light flowing down from the heavenlies, and we are here reaching out. The word of God is all we need. Who the sun sets free is free indeed. So God, please speak to me, reaching the next generation.
Well, good morning and welcome again. This is Reaching the Next Generation, and this is our Cooking with the Chef segment on this Sunday morning here in Spring, Texas. And I want to welcome you again. And we're going to get started in a moment here. Just trying to get these settings finished. But we're going to start just cooking a number of things, simple stuff today. Very simple, but going to make it as tasteful as we possibly can. And you may have a thumbnail that has a particular menu on it, but we're going to be doing pork roast, pork roast here, and then we're going to also do with the onion flour gravy, and we're going to do a pan of chicken drumettes. And I've got a little blade steak. I'm cooking on the scratch. We had to kind of scramble to get this meal together. So we're just cooking a little of this, a little of that, and we're going to make a meal out of this, what we had left over from some things. Like I've got some green beans. We may have to cook a little lima beans, those baby lima beans. May have to cook a little spinach, just so that we have enough vegetables. But we're going to put it all together, and at the end it's going to be a tasteful meal of different sorts. So let me get this here setting so that it will. Okay, I just pulled something out, so let me put it back in. I want to have this set up really easier, and I'm working on that. So we're going to turn our ovens on at 375. Start them heating up. That's just one of them right now. And so the first thing we're going to do is get the pork roast ready. We have two pieces like this. This is bone in. I like getting the bone in, because a lot of the flavor is in the bone. And with this, I don't have to cut but a little of this fat off here. It's very pretty lean, so you don't have to do that. Just kind of trim it a little bit, but the bone in gives it a better flavor. Both of these little pieces got a bone, and so that's going to help them be seasoned a lot better. So I'm just trimming a little of this fat. This is not really enough to even worry about trimming. So if you don't have but a little fat, don't worry about that. You want some of the fat. You don't want to trim all of it off either, because it's what's going to make your juice. Now, one of the things that I do on the top is just cut lines, just not deep. And then I kind of X them. And with this having a bone back here, I don't have to worry about the bottom. But if you didn't have a bone in it, you'd want to cut the bottom as well. Just exit. Don't want to cut it deep now. Just exit. And then you're just going to season these with some regular onion powder. Let me get my hands clean. And you want to season them with just regular onion powder, salt, pepper, and you can put garlic powder on them, but we're not going to do that this time. We're just going to do some basic seasoning, or you can do seasoned salt and don't use the regular salt, and use some onion powder and some black pepper. That'll be sufficient. And so we're going to go ahead and get these open. I've been away for a minute. I'm in the middle of a major project. And so it's taken me almost around the clock working on that project. Now you want to put your onions powder on first. Anytime you're seasoning meats, you put your onion powder on it first. You don't have to worry about overdoing it with the onion powder. That's one thing I love about that. You don't have to really worry about overdoing it with onion powder. And what does the onion powder do? It stimulates the other seasonings in your food. So we're just going to take these, and like I said, this is going to be a meal of all different sorts today. They're going to have a little this, a little that. But you know, that's where it be at times. Now you're going to put pepper on here. And then you can go with your seasoning salt. And I'm going to put them, I was thinking maybe this small pan here would be sufficient. I don't need to put them in a large pan. You want to get them seasoned really good with your seasoned salt. And there you have that. I'm going to clean my hands again. Now, once you got these seasoned like that, they're ready to just go in the oven. Now, this is going to cook some, it's going to get some gravy that's going to go in here. So I'm going to start by putting just a little bit of water in the bottom of this, maybe like a half cup. See. Let's see. Just put it right. I'm not even going to put a half cup. I just don't want it to stick on the bottom and burn, but I don't want to put too much water in it. So now we're going to put this in the oven. You don't want to cover it up because you want to cook it without covering it up for about an hour at 375. and because you wanted to get it kind of crusted on the top. And then once you get that crusted on the top, then you want to turn it down to about 250 to 275 and let it cook for another 3 or 4 hours. This will be ready for us after we come back from church this morning. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do, well, the next thing that is to be done now is to get this board and clean it so that we can get the chicken ready. Now we're going to get these wingettes, these drummettes, wingettes, and they're a combination. I say it drummettes, but they have a combination of both. So we're going to do, this is a combination of the wingettes and the drummettes. And so we're going to go ahead and put them right on the cutting board. They're not quite defrosted yet in every way, so we're going to get all the ice off of them. You don't want to try to cook these when they're got ice on them, because the ice then will keep them from absorbing any seasoning. So you got to make sure that So right now the chicken wingettes still have some ice on them. They're still kind of frozen. So you don't want to try to cook them like that if you're going to season them. Because if you try to season them while they got ice on them, then when the ice melt, all the seasoning will melt off of your chicken. So I'm going to wait on the chicken drummettes and wingettes. I'm going to wait to let them thaw out a little bit more, and that way we can season them properly. Now what I'm going to do with this, since I'm going to make an onion flour gravy, I'm going to go ahead and cut these onions, peel them, cut them in half, and then I'm going to put them in the freezer for 30 minutes. And that way I can, I got to get a couple more, because I got to get some gravy for the pork roast and gravy for the chicken. So we're going to do 2 different gravies. So that means I'll just need another onion here. And so we're going to go in. Now what I do when you're using, got a cut up onion, you can peel them, cut them in half, and put them in the freezer for at least 30 minutes, and they won't burn your eyes when you're cutting them all up. Because when you have to cut up a lot of onion, your eyes can really get burnt. That's one of the secrets of being able to just stand here and chop onions without crying through them. Because this is one of the things that people that cook do not care to have to do a lot of, when they are when it comes to peeling and cutting onions. But if they put them in the freezer, they will, that being in the freezer will kill that burn. And you'll be able to stand here and chop them as long as you need to without having them stinging your eyes. That's a good little tip to know. When I get fully set, it's going to be around March or April, around April, toward the latter part of April, before I really have this cooking channel going the way we want it to go. We got some big things in store for it. It's going to be, this channel will be on another platform where we're going to be able to, do several things with having 2 to 3 cameras in, so that we can show all of the areas of the kitchen no matter where we go while we're doing this show. And but this other channel is it's not a channel, it's another platform. It's still going to be YouTube, but we're going to migrate it into another channel where it will be open for a lot of others around the world that'll be able to come in and join us. And you want to put these in the freezer. And you let them stay there for about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes from now, and you'll be ready to use them. So while they do that, I'm going to again get this board clean. I'm trying to do as much as I can while I'm cooking it, so that I don't have a lot to do when I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my pots for my green beans and other veggies and whatnot. I'm going to take these out, even though I'm only going to use a few, because it never fails. I'm going to start doing this the night before. In getting all these pots and pans from under the cabinets here. You know, my sensor keeps adjusting, so if you see it on the YouTube side, it's not doing it on the iPhone, but on the YouTube side it'll keep adjusting as I get closer. It'll pull out, and if I come in it'll zoom. It'll do the zoom automatically, so that's what you see happening there. I got to go around on the other side. Thought I had this already set, but I put the pots and pans on that side, but someone has put them over here. So I'm going to check this out and see. And I'm going to go ahead and put this put all of these all right, so guys, we're going to open our green beans. Two of these, and they're different kind. One of them is the Italian, and one of them is the regular. Drain these. Have a guest that is here, and they don't eat any meat, so I won't be putting no meat in them today. They'll just have any meat in them. Now I'll get those ready and we'll season those. And another thing that I'm going to do is do a little butter beans. These are little butter beans here, these baby green lima beans. Put some of them. put those, whenever you put those, whenever you put the lids from these cans in the garbage, don't just leave them on the top of the garbage. Make sure you put they usually I put them back in the can, but if I don't, I make sure that they go all the way to the bottom. And the reason for that is because many times you can go to the garbage and you can push down in the garbage to push it down, and if those lids from a can is turned on its side like that, standing up, they'll slice right through your hand like a sharp razor. So we don't want that. So I'm going to season these when I'm ready. And now that I got those, and I'm going to do 6 pieces of corn on the cob that I have left over. So I'm going to put that on as well. But now that I got that ready, I'm going to see if my chicken ready to be seasoned. Not quite. So I got to run some water on it. Because it's got to get ready. You got to get all this ice off the chicken. You cannot season chicken with ice on it. Can't really season meat with ice on it or virtually anything because the ice is going to melt, and your seasoning will be on the ice and not on the chicken. Now that chicken will be ready in about 15-20 minutes. It'll be ready for me to season, and we'll be ready to go. Now I know some of you that getting it and you're saying, well, we can't see you much of the time, etc. But again, we're working it out. We're gonna fix that after a while. Don't worry about it right now. So I got a small 2-pound bag of rice. So that's not enough for the number of people that we're going to have, but it's going to have to be stretched. We're going to make it work. Normally I would cook about 4 pounds of rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a cooker. See, because I want to get everything done. When you're cooking, you want to keep making progress. Keep making progress all the way to the end, systematically getting things done. Right now, just the simple things like putting your vegetables on in the pots. That's ready. Got your pork roast in the oven. That's ready. Get your rice ready to go. So that'll be ready. Then get your chicken and season it, and that'll be ready. And that's all of your meats. That's your meats, that's your vegetables, and that's your starch. So what you want to do is, when you're cooking, you want a system for doing things. Don't just be scatterbrained. See, now I told you how many pounds I had, but I still measured through. Because I would have thought that would have been 4 cups of rice, but that's 5. See, it made 5 cups. And the reason that's important because how many cups determines how much water you're going to put in it. And this has it already measured out, so I can just bring the water up to the line and it'll be ready. But I'm not going to put the water in it yet because this is only, we don't need this until 1 o'clock today. So, and it's just not quite, it's 6:30 now. So I'm going to set this aside, sprinkle a little salt in it. I will put some, and you can use butter or a little oil, and that will keep your rice from getting gummed together. And we're going to set this right over here. Let it sit up there. Check on our roast. And I'll show you this. You see how this roast is becoming? It's becoming a little crust on it. That's what you're looking for. We're going to let it cook a little bit longer. Now when you're cooking meat like that, or when you're cooking meat, you see I always keep me a thermometer. I got one here, and I have one here as well in the kitchen, so that you always want to test your meat temperature. Meats are very tricky. They can get brown on the outside, but be raw in the middle. So the thermometer tells you what temperature that meat is, and if the meat reaches a certain temperature, that's when it's done. See, and so your thermometer will tell you what meats like this one has, that you're testing chicken, poultry, checking veal, lamb, pork, beef. When it's well done, ham, it tells you the beef has to be 160 degrees, your pork has to be 170 degrees, your chicken has to be 165 degrees. So you just gotta keep that handy, and you can stick it in the center, all the way to the bone, and turn it on, make sure that it's the right temperature. And if it's the right temperature, whether it's brown or not, it's done. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some seasoning in these beans and these green lima beans. And so what I like to do is throw a little chicken bouillon in there. I usually use chicken broth, but I don't see any here. So I'm just gonna put a couple of tablespoons of this in here. And one in that one, because that one doesn't have as much. Since I'm not putting any meat in this either, I'm gonna have to try to do something to give it some better flavor. So that bouillon should help, and I'm gonna stack it with a little hot sauce. Not enough to make it hot. Now, it's not gonna be hot. And I'm gonna throw some salt. And we're gonna put in our pepper. These are just basic seasonings, salt and pepper. Add some onion powder. And I already put some chicken broth in them. Chicken broth can go in virtually anything. And then I'm gonna put a little pinch of some sugar. About 4 good tablespoons of sugar in that pot. It all depends on how much you have. And I just put a little in that just to offset the acidity. Now, this can just sit. I'm gonna put some butter in here, and then I'm gonna let them cook really slow, just on low heat until they get nice and done. And they'll just, the seasoning will get into them. Then I'll taste them and see what else I need to add to them. Okay, but that's what you do with that. Now we got the beans there. We got the lima beans, green beans. Our rice is in the pan. Our pork roast is in the oven. Because after a while now, I'm going to cover that roast, and I'm going to put it in the oven on a lower temperature. My chicken, I'm going to get it ready, and I want it to get cooked before I go to church, but I don't want it to be all the way. I want to finish it, you know, when we get back. So let me grab what I'm going to cook it on. I'm going to put the chicken either on this, or I'm going to put it in here, which I think I am, because I want to preserve. I really want to preserve my pans. I'm going to put the chicken in here. And putting it this right will give them a better roasted flavor. You know, when it's sitting right down on the bottom of the pan, it's more of a baked chicken. But if you put it on a right where the air can circulate all under it, it becomes a roasted perfect flavor. And that's what we want with that. So now we're going to get our chicken. We're going to get our chicken out. And our chicken is just about ready. I think I'm going to move. Well, you are our Facebook. You're our Facebook audience there, and you guys are on YouTube. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my board over and get my chicken out of the sink. Put this chicken in the bottom oven, and I'm going to put it on 225. I don't want it to cook fast. I want it to slow roasted chicken. These are wingettes. So you know it's not many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not many of these, but I'm making just a meal out of what we got in the house. You know, we don't have no food. I didn't get grocery this week, and so we kind of make a meal out of what we have in the house. Now the first thing, again, you're going to season this with onion powder. That's the first item you put on your Now we're going to put some black pepper and seasoning salt. That's the only thing we're going to season these with. I'm going to put some paprika on them later if I want to give them some color. Normally I would flip these over, and I think I am. Flip them over and put them right on here so that they don't. That way they won't. I'll season them on the other side. Now we're going to do the same routine. We're going to put seasoning on. I'm going to go with our onion powder. Our black pepper. And we're going to go with our seasoning salt. Let's see, we got some more. Got a little left here. That's gone. I'm going to put just a little water in the bottom of this pan because the rack is in there, and this water will serve as a steamer coming up. And let me get some paprika. And I'll put a little paprika on this chicken. And there's your chicken like that. And I'm going to put it right in the oven on 225. Now that'll cook slow for a long time, and I'm really glad about that. Now we're going to check this here. By getting these onions out. Get all of these out over here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and clean this board. now we're going to put this up here. So I'm going to try to go ahead now and get this onion chopped up. So now we're going to take this roast out. That's the roast there. Now that it's got that crust on the top, we're going to put some onions in it. Just put these onions here. Very simple meal, nothing complicated about this at all. I need to put that right where. So we're gonna just put this in, put a little water in the pan, and put it, cover it up, and put it back in the oven. That's all we're doing here now. Put the onions in it, put a little water in it. Every time I add water, I add a little more seasoning. Okay, we got that in there. So I'm going to put some more salt in that water, in these onions. I'm going to put some pepper in them too. I just want to make sure that the water doesn't take away from the seasoning. And anytime you add water, if you don't add no more seasoning, then you just change the taste of that item. So we're going to put that in there like that. And these two are going to go in now. We're going to cover them up with foil and just put them in the oven. And this will cook now for a good 3-4 more hours. But before they get cooked, I'm going to make the onion flour gravy. And I'm going to put that in here as well. Put some of it in this pan in about an hour or so from now. And let it finish cooking. So now we have Just going back in there. And I'm going to turn it down on 275. See, now I can cut these onions and don't have to worry about them stinging my eyes. I'm feeling not that good this morning, guys. I'm not really feeling good. Feel like I'm very nauseated. Been that way the whole while I've been here this morning. That is actually enough onions on that. But I need a little bit for chicken. Yeah, I'm not really feeling good. Got that feeling like I need to go back to bed. Not because I'm sleepy. Put a little of these in the green beans. A little of these in the lima beans. And then I'll have these to go in the flour. I'm gonna make that right in here. Flour this okay, so let me grab some oil for this and some butter. That's working. That's working. Put some butter in our green beans. A little in our lima beans. And over in our rice. Not feeling my best this morning, and I may have to go lay down. Guys, I'm trying to get this here done, and I'm going to sit. You know, you don't always feel like Superman. You just don't. Because I am not feeling it this morning as far as the feeling goes. And don't really know why. Because I rested well. And sometimes You have to just kind of, well, a lot of times you push past certain things. And so, but I've gotten quite a bit. We've got our pork roast in the oven. We have our roasted chicken wingettes in the oven. We have our vegetables on the stove. Have our rice ready to go. And we're about to do our flour onion gravy. And then we're going to have to do some biscuits after church. We may just get regular rolls. We're not going to go biscuits. May just do regular rolls today. So I'm gonna put these onions in here. Got a little oil in the pan. And I'm going to put these onions in here and I'm going to brown them with this flour. Because then I'm going to add some water and I'm going to add some other seasonings to it. Now, I always like to season my onions. I don't like to just, I like to season them. Salt, pepper, whatever seasonings I'm going to use. This is for pork. And you can use the same gravy. You don't have to make chicken gravy because we're having the wingettes and they don't need a gravy for them. So whenever I'm doing this, you can do this several ways. I want to make sure I got enough of it because I got to put some in the pork roast. So I want to get these onions now brown, and then I'm going to put a little flour in there. That's good. That's enough of that. Let's brown this here. Now, one of the things that I'll put up in there, I'll put one thing of beef gravy. And then I could add some one mix of beef gravy. And then I can put a can of cream of mushroom soup. And I can mix that mushroom soup, add a can of mushroom soup and a cream of celery. And that'll make a good gravy. So these onions, I'm gonna cook them out a little bit. I want the onions to get really softer. Oh, can't use that now. That's probably a product of me not feeling well. And I've got to get some of that stuff up off the floor because it's got a little stuff on the floor. And I'm going to put 1 can of cream of mushroom soup in there. I thought I had it out here. Yep. Now, let me mix that up really well. So now we're going to add a little bit more water to this. Then we're going to let it cook. And taste it and season it to taste. Put that on it. Okay, that's ready. So now, guys, that's basically what we have. You have your pork roast in the oven. And we have our chicken. I'm going to turn that up now so that now that I'm ready to look at it, I'm going to turn it up on 400 for about 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. And then I'll turn it back down. So now we're pretty well much done. There's not anything else. Later on, I'm going to have a full product where I can record it and show it to you all the way to the end. But I'm going to cut out of this now, basically because I'm not really feeling that well, and I need to see why that is. So until the next time, just stay tuned, and we're going to be doing some baking. We're going to be doing a number of things. It's just going to take us a while because right now we're in the midst of several projects, and so the other projects, it's got us really occupied all the way through mid-April. But we'll be adding different cooking videos to our channel, and hopefully it'll be of help to somebody in the audience. I'm Bishop Bill saying you have a blessed day.